Kız össe elдің көркі деген сөзді қапысыз қалай айтқан қайран бабам.
The Kazakhs say as soon as a daughter reaches adult stage, she is given in marriage. A daughter is a guest at her father's home. A daughter leaves her home, becoming a part of another family. Of course, it's hard for a family to part with a daughter. However, this is the law of life. Hello, you're watching TV show Kazakh Live Dastur with Tamara Assar. Today we will touch on the topic of marriage. A bride's family holds a farewell ritual, which is one of the most beautiful, filled with heartwarming moments. The ceremony also represents a high educational content of Kazakh national traditions as well. Today, the ethnographer Joly came to the studio to explain the reasons and roots of this tradition and answer questions that our viewers are interested in. We will talk about Kyz Uzatu tradition. Would you please tell us its origin and how did it develop? In general, Kyz Uzatu, which means the tradition of seeing off the bride, developed under various conditions and circumstances in the Kazakh traditional society. It is considered as one of the marriage ceremonies, which follows after marriage proposal and providing bride price. The grooms are often worried about the main issue, the issue of the bride price. What can you tell about this? Yes, please drink some tea. Thank you. The issue of bride price, as we know it, kalyn payment, is considered to be one of the significant life aspects among the Kazakh people as well as among the peoples of Central Asia. This is an ancient custom and it's seen as a symbolic act and a necessary part of upholding culture. Bride price is measured in certain respects. For example, in some regions of Kazakhstan, according to the rules, bride price was rounded with a sacred number 7. Respectively, cattle was presented in the amount of 47, 37, 27, 17 heads of cattle, depending on the financial possibilities of the groom's family. Does it include only cattle? Kalyn amounted to a certain number of cattle, for example 47, 37 heads of cattle, and etc. It includes horses and cattle, sheep. In general, it should be noted that the amount of kalyn depends on the property status of two families. What circumstances had been taken into account in the past? Engagement was concluded first taking into account the financial possibilities of the family. At the same time, people tried to find a worthy, equal match for marriage. This could prevent disputes in future and strengthen new family bonds created by marriage. Our viewers are interested in the payment that is made by the groom for the bride's mother. The so-called ana sütü is a payment for mother's education, raising her daughter. How is it estimated? This rite as a whole is also part of kalyn. This is a kind of payment for the mother's upbringing and taking care of her daughter, the prospective bride. This payment is compulsory. If, for example, kalyn can be paid in stages over several years, then this fee is paid immediately. Dear viewers, it turns out that kalyn can be paid in stages, by installments. Yes, it was practiced in the old days. The groom paid the bride's mother reward, the so-called ana sütü, right on the wedding ceremony. Yes, for example, as we have already said, kalyn mal payment in the amount of 47 heads of cattle was realized gradually. And such rituals as ana sütü and other marriage-related payments were paid on the spot. Please, can you tell us about the ceremony of presenting gifts to the bride's house? Ölütleri ritual. When is it done? This is a very interesting theme. This rite is implemented as follows. Selected cattle are slaughtered in the groom's house. Dishes are prepared from it, and together with other products they are delivered to the bride's house. According to the legend, the bride and groom should not eat these treats. It should be remembered that newlyweds can't eat those dishes. These are distinguishing features of this ritual. Fine, now let's talk about the bride's dowry. What can you say about it? The bride's dowry is one of the constituent elements of the ceremony of the bride seeing off to the groom's house. It's the equivalent of kalyn mal. Usually the balance is maintained between the size of the paid kalyn mal and the bride's dowry. For example, as a response to kalyn mal in the amount of 47 heads of cattle, the bride's dowry consisted of 3 full horses, a separate yurt, carpets, and various utensils. If kalyn mal is measured in the amount of 37 heads of cattle, then a yurt for newlyweds was not added to the dowry. Please, tell once more about the bride price amount. 47 heads of cattle is the largest amount of bride price payment. Accordingly, the worthy dowry is being prepared. As I already said, dowry may include 3 full horses, a separate yurt, carpets, and various utensils, and bedding. The preparation of the dowry shows the role and status of girls in the Kazakh society. Therefore, some families will start preparing a dowry when a daughter is born, and accumulate a dowry comprising of many items until their child reaches the matrimonial age. From the age of 12, a girl has her own separate bed, and when she goes to sleep, she closes her bed place with a curtain. What can you say about the rite of the bride's farewell song, Sinsu? Is it a necessary ritual? Yes, it is practiced in the present time. Can you tell about the history of its origin? The rite of Sinsu involves performing an improvised farewell song by a married girl to her relatives. She went round all her relatives, accompanied by her sisters-in-law and friends. A farewell song was composed to her personally. Girl's good character and dignity of her relatives were praised in the song. Women sang about separation from her native home and her future marriage life. Relatives, on their part, presented her memorable gifts. Nowadays, it is held as a show. The ritual may be held in free form. But there is also a version about the origin of this ritual in the 17th, 18th centuries, when young girls were married to rich but old men. In these songs of cry, they mourned their fate and youth, which they did not want to give up marrying old men. Therefore, there is a certain difference between the bride's farewell song and the song of cry. Our next theme will be dedicated to the bride's Kazakh traditional headwear, saukele. Kazakhs say that a girl's saukele is equal to 500 horses. In ancient times, this girl's headwear was so highly valued. After all, it was decorated with silver, gold, and precious stones. Who did put it on? In general, the etymology of the word saukele comes from the words saukelsin, which means let her come safe and well. It was presented by the groom's relatives to the bride when paying kalyn mal. I am also interested in another question. Kazakh ritual ceremony of marriage among Kazakhs is held in some regions in the house of the bride's father, and sometimes only in the house of the groom. Is it right or not? In general, the Kazakh custom of marriage slightly changed with the arrival of the Islamic religion. So according to the requirements of Sharia law, a wedding ceremony should be held in the house of the bride's father. After all, she leaves her house already in married status. At the same time, all properties were respected. Bride price had been already paid. And also the groom can date a bride before marriage, but only with relatives. Upon arrival in the groom's village, the newlyweds were presented a separate yurt. At the entering the yurt, some rituals were held for a bride. These rituals were believed to bring happiness and protect from evil. There are certain ceremonies devoted to a bride. I believe that the wedding ceremony should still be held in the house of the bride's father. As Devlet said, the groom has the opportunity to secretly see the bride. And all these rituals and their sequence prevent thoughtless behavior before the wedding. Therefore, the ceremony of marriage by the will of God and with the blessing of the parents was held in the bride's house. Yes, indeed, one can talk endlessly about traditions and customs. I liked our discussion today. Thank you. Thank you for participating in the Kazakh Live Dastur program. You gave so much useful information to the audience, and people will know all the subtleties of our national traditions. Once again, on behalf of all, I express my gratitude to you. I am glad to be useful to you. We continue our program Kazakh Live Dastur in the wedding studio svadba.kz. Today, our theme that concerns all parents is the ceremony of giving their daughters in marriage, as Kazakhs say, Kyz Uzatu. We welcome a new guest in our studio, Saltanat Balkaeva, who performs bride's farewell songs at wedding ceremonies. Welcome, Sultanat. Hello, Tamara. How are you? I'm fine, and you? Once again, welcome in our program. At the beginning of the conversation, I would like to touch the theme of your personal marriage ceremony. How was it held? What emotions did you experience? After all, presently you participate in such ceremonies. My parents adhere to national traditions. Therefore, at my wedding, we held all the necessary customs. My wedding was held in Almaty, where my friends and relatives live. When I married, there wasn't such a tradition of seeing the bride off accompanied by the song. However, we held this ceremony and my sister sang a farewell song. It brought us plenty of excitement. Yes, it's hard to part with relatives with native home. Do you sing a farewell song at the weddings? How did you start this? What was the reason? The song that I performed was not specially written for the wedding ceremony. I'll tell you about its origin. I have a good friend, Shirin Bazarkulova. Since childhood, we grew up together, studied together. She was 2 years older than me. She graduated from the conservatory in St. Petersburg. Then she returned to Almaty, where she got married. I was invited to her wedding. I thought since I was a soloist of the Arnau group, I should present her song, a kind of a gift to a friend. For this purpose, I composed a song and sang it at her wedding. In the future, the song became popular. What do you feel when you sing a farewell song? Do you feel responsibility? Of course, I'm very excited. Kazakhs are very superstitious people. The bride believes that if she is seen off by a happy woman, she will be also happy in marriage. I wish them to keep their marriage brimming with love. For many parents of the bride, a daughter's wedding day is a bittersweet occasion when happiness mingles with sadness. Our ethnographers, historians, and scholars oppose making this tradition a kind of show. They consider it wrong. However, in order to earn money, some people are willing to do show at the wedding. What is your opinion about this? I think that we represent our old traditions in a new format, and this, in my opinion, contributes to their preservation. You and other singers started this industry. I just make my modest contribution to this common cause. My dear viewers, as the Kazakhs say in the proverb, there is always someone who continues your affair. Yes, I was the first in Kazakhstan to have begun singing a farewell song at the wedding. In all respects, the trend of turning Kazakh weddings into a business starts with me. Earlier in 1998, I was overcoming some difficulties and worked at home. I wrote scripts and fulfilled orders. At that time, my chief, Nazgul Jarılgapqızı, often asked me, "What will I perform at the Kazakh wedding?" Could I contribute to its success? How will I revive and popularize national traditions? And then I had an idea to perform at the wedding and sing Sinsu song. However, it is a sad song of a girl who was forcibly given out to marry one she doesn't love in return for a solid bride price. But I sing a happy farewell song, seeing the bride off to make happy marriage. Can you sing it? Okay, I'm ready.
Көзімнің ақпен қарасы, жүректің жұлып барасың. Ананың жүрген ізімен алысқа кетіп барасың.
That's how I sang the songs and made brides cry from happiness. The singers at this moment do not perform the role of daughters-in-law in France. They only sing songs as if unbosoming feelings and excitement of the bride coming from the depths of her soul, a farewell to her relatives. And this is a wonderful ceremony. Dear viewers, our program continues and we want to stage some performance, an improvised farewell wedding ceremony. Saltanat is our guest today. One of the girls in the studio is already putting on saukilye. Let's improvise her farewell ceremony. Let's start. The bride's dowry depends on the size of kalyn mal, and if it consists of 47 heads of cattle, then a separate yurt is included in the dowry. If it's smaller, then the dowry includes only carpets, bedding, and clothes. From the 18th century, for the first time, sewing machines and samovars were included to the dowry of the Kazakh bride. A samovar, for example, is a symbol of unity and abundant Dastur. Now let's talk about a chest and bedding. All necessary things and utensils are already put into the chest. For convenience, duvet covers are made of felt and white lamp wool. They are decorated with the Kazakh ornaments. Nowadays, seamstresses produce beautiful sets of bedding. The dowry of a bride is ready. Now we will hold a dignified Kyz Uzatu ceremony. As we mentioned at the beginning of the program, the Kazakhs have an expression which means that a bride's saukilye cost is equal to 500 horses. Saukilye was estimated by the size of kalyn mal. However, women caring about the future of their daughters start to prepare saukilye very early. They ordered special craftsmen to make a headdress. It was decorated with silver coins, gold, and precious stones. Everything was prepared in advance. On the wedding day, the mother personally put saukilye on her daughter and blessed her. She told farewell words, "Go and don't look back. Let your path be open and your enemies far from you."
Қайда келмес айналып, бала күнің ай, басталғалы тұр енді жаң өмірің құрбым-ай. Тілегімді айтайын, осы әніммен ай, бақытты бол серідей, қосағыңмен құрбым-ай. Әйя югай, әйя югай, әйя югай, әйюгай. Жасымағын қасыңда тұр, асыл жарың құрбым-ай.
The Kazakhs say the purpose of the dispute is reconciliation, the destination of the path is to reach the right place, and the mission of the girl is to get married and become a mother. So let the Kazakh girls be happy.